Ready? We're calling this meeting to get order on Monday, August 11th, 8:30 a.m. in the Town Hall Hearing Room. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And according to Mass General Law, 30A, Section 20E, I do need to ask if anyone else in the room is recording this other than the Board of Selectmen and LCAT. Seeing that nobody else has said so, we'll move on. We have a short agenda today. We did get some feedback as to how we can hold that we needed to appoint our screening committee. And that's for the accountant position. At this time, I would like to, I'll entertain a motion to appoint the select board, the Board of Selectmen as the screening committee, as well as a person from the appropriations, and I believe that person to be Russ Denver. But if it should not be, I don't want to make it so that we wouldn't be able to accept them. So I want to make sure that we're able to have somebody from the Board of Appropriations. I believe it is to be Russ Denver.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion?
Madam Chairman, I have a question.
Yes, please.
So with the motion here is if Mr. Denver is the appointee, that's fine?
Yes.
If not, it would be whichever member?
Whichever member.
Okay.
And that would be left up to their chair to decide who they would send to us. We're going to just trust in what they're sending.
Thank you.
Okay?
Are we
yep.
having any other people on, or just the four of us?
Is there anybody else that you think that we should?
I can't really think of anybody.
You?
No, I can't really think of anybody
Okay.
other than us.
I think because they're going to be dealing with the accountant too, and then we have Paul. Is there somebody that you thought should be on there?
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I know who it is. It's at, Olazak, out of the high school, that worked with the accountant.
Olajars?
Terry Olajars?
Yeah,
Terry
I don't know-
Olajars?
I don't know her first name.
Paul?
I have no problem with that.
Okay. So, I'll amend the motion. Well, have you spoken with her to see if she wants to do that?
No, I haven't, but
Okay, so I'll amend the motion to include Terry Olajars if she is willing to accept it. So
moved.
So moved,
second.
seconded. Okay, so it has been amended. Now we're voting on the motion itself. We've had discussion, and it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, at this point, I would like to ask Paul, seeing that he is an accountant, to come up with some questions for us to give, if he would be acceptable to that.
How many do you want to do, without burdening the thing, how many do you want to
Right.
do per person?
I would think maybe two.
Okay.
What do you think?
That sounds
Two
good.
questions?
2 questions apiece? Don't
Oh,
you think
yeah,
that would be
yeah,
enough to
apiece,
get
yeah.
information?
Yeah, which should be 10 altogether. 'cause
Okay.
There should be 5 of us in total.
Yeah.
Provided Terry accepts the...
Right.
Okay.
Also, I'd entertain a motion to set Paul as the chair of the steering committee, seeing that he is an accountant. Can I get it to be moved?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
And is there any further discussion? Would you be amendable to that?
Sure.
Mr. Federici? Okay, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think he
Aye.
brings a wealth to that, and, that's his forte. And he is the liaison for our accountant. Okay, so that was quick. About the Form 394, Nick, an update?
Sure. One just scheduling piece of business for the board. Just a reminder that the interviews will be on Thursday, this Thursday time.
Okay.
And they begin at 4 o'clock with the health agent. And those candidates' names will be published as part of the agenda. They'll be posted later this morning.
Okay.
The town accountant candidates' names at this point, since you are a screening committee, will not be posted. It'll just indicate that you're going to conduct preliminary interviews with preliminary candidates at this
Okay.
time. And those matters, it is my understanding, is the committee will conduct those preliminary interviews in executive session.
Right.
So the health agent at 4?
The health
On
agent
Thursday?
yep, the health agent candidates begin at 4, and they are scheduled for up to a half hour each. And then the town accountant candidates are scheduled for up to an hour each.
And what time is that?
That
Right after
portion,
that?
that's
Yeah, it
right,
starts
it's
at
all
5.
part of it. So 5 o'clock will be the first of the accountant interviews.
Okay. Are we all set with them, except for the one that you spoke of earlier?
Yes, 5 out of the 6 for that evening,
Oh, so we don't have to go to a Friday possibly?
right, and.
Loving that. Okay.
It's very likely that, no, you won't have to go to a Friday.
Now, when you say 5 out of 6, pardon me, through the chair,
No, no, no.
does that include the
Well,
health
there-
agents, or is that,
Well, the number
Oh,
actually.
wait.
Yeah,
That doesn't include the health agent.
okay.
That
Thank you.
does not. He was-
So
he-
we have our health agent candidates and.
That would be 2 people, right?
And, yeah, that's 2, and then finalizing the number for the town accountant
Okay.
Okay.
position. So,
Okay.
but the town accountant portion of the interviews will begin at 5.
Okay. All right then. Is that, okay, your update for the 394.
Wanted to inform the board that Comcast has provided written assent for the hearing to be held at a later date. And at this time, the hearing would be scheduled for part of the regular Board of Selectmen meeting on Tuesday, September 2nd. That hearing will be at 7 o'clock on the agenda. Notification will be published in a reminder this week and next week.
Okay.
And so we have that all in writing, and we also have written approval from Mass DTC.
Okay.
So we got everything covered.
Yeah.
We got both sides covered.
exactly.
Yes.
What
Okay.
time's that meeting, September 2nd?
Well, your regular Board of Selectmen meeting,
Yeah.
actually, I'm glad you
It's
brought
part of
that
the
up.
meeting, yeah.
That's all right, leave it the way it is.
So
It's-
right now,
I'm
we're
good.
6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the
I
Selectmen's
just
meeting
don't
will
like
begin at 6.
to start a meeting and then have to break for a hearing or possibly run late, but, it is what it is. We'll take it. Everybody, the notices have been sent out, so, we'll just really have to be careful and be very mindful of the time, and maybe we can rearrange our agenda to make sure that we're stopping right at 7, because some other things could probably drag on, so we'll just make sure that whatever we set up there will be good.
I do have a question,
Sure.
I guess, with regards to scheduling for the meeting of the 2nd.
Yeah.
It's my understanding, again, that the board is going to have 2 potentially finalists for that town accountant position for interviews.
Okay.
Does
I
the
don't
board
know.
want to consider
Doing it
altering
doing it
earlier or
before?
something, or-
Would you want to do that before, like right at 6?
Your
Because that
regular-
would give us a half an hour for each, because there's going to be 2.
Madam Chair, your regular meeting is scheduled to start at 6.
Right. So I was thinking, if we do that first, remember I said about rearranging the schedule? If we do that first and get that right out of the way, and then we can have the hearing, and that'll give us a chance to also work some things out before we go into our regular session, I think. I don't know, what do you think? Paul?
If I may, is that public forum day?
No, that is
Okay, that's the chiefs?
the 2 chiefs.
Okay.
Oh,
So potentially for the board, and off the top of my head, I'm not aware if anybody else had requested.
what do you guys think about possibly if, because it looks like it might be a long meeting, and I'd hate to have the chiefs waiting until the very end. What about moving the chiefs to the next meeting? Or do you think there's something pressing that they need to talk about? I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, either that or we could just start at 5:30 instead of 6 and then get them out of, I hate to use that expression, but get them out of the way. And then at
All
6
right.
o'clock, we could start the interviews with
All
the
right.
2, that's
And
just
so
a
they would
thought.
have an half an hour.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, to starting at 5:30?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we'll start at 5.
Start at 5:30
Yeah,
with the
that
chiefs
might be a
and-
good idea.
That's on the 2nd.
Yeah,
Yes.
on the 2nd. Or what about 5 o'clock?
Either way.
We can do,
Yeah,
what
5
about,
o'clock?
does 5 o'clock work for you, Billy?
Yeah, that's
Because that
okay.
way we can get some
get more
business
stuff
done
done,
too, right?
yeah.
And then
The only
when
thing
they,
I've been getting complaints from people,
About the
moving,
daytime
about the
appointments?
change in the time,
you
yeah,
know, they want, night, because they say they can't make
Right.
it because of work. So
right,
I probably got 5 calls this weekend.
yeah, I did
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, a lot of it had to do with the hearings and things, because they were during the day. So
Yeah.
at least 5 o'clock, hopefully, if they get out of work, they can make a majority of the meeting, so.
Right,
Okay, so it's gonna be.
But yeah, that'd be good, because then
Yeah.
we can do the chiefs and any other,
little business in
Yeah, we
there
can get
and
that in the
get some
first
of it
hour.
done anyway, you're
then,
right.
then do the 2 accounting candidates, which probably won't take an hour, but, for 2 candidates.
Right.
And then either do some more business and then get into the hearing, what is it, Comcast?
Comcast.
Hearing at 7.
Well,
so.
it's not Comcast, is it Comcast/Charter or the
It's
the
Comcast.
LLC?
It's Comcast is the applicant.
Okay.
But I would expect the charter will also have a representative here.
Okay.
Now, is this about their potential, because it'll probably be packed if it's about their potential
know,
takeover.
I
since
know,
Everybody,
exactly.
no one can wait till Comcast
Exactly.
takes over the cable, so I got all these people saying, when they start, when
When's
they
it gonna
start.
happen? When's it happening? Yeah.
What I would say to the board is, and I've been reviewing the materials a lot more closely, looking at what it is that you as the issuing authority is going to be responsible for. And it really is to consider elements about the ability of Comcast to operate as a cable company. And there's
Okay.
4 criteria in there, and I won't try to do them off the top of my head either. But there are standards with which the board must apply for them. For example, one could be, I believe, financially able to. Are they able to be a cable carrier? And so that's really the question that this application asks.
Okay.
Wasn't Mr. Donahue gonna look into some of that?
Well, he has
He has.
reviewed some of it, and I can ask him on the board's behalf to take a little bit closer look at it. He'll be here certainly for the Board of Selectmen meeting that evening. But I would ask the board to take a look at that application prior to, and those questions that Attorney Donahue has, and I'm sure he'll ask them again at that time.
And that's the one that where he just received all those answers and which really said nothing. Well, they really didn't answer his questions, our questions. Okay. All right, so what's before us is that we'll start at 5 o'clock with the business, and then at 6, at 6 o'clock, we'll do the interviews, the 2 interviews, and then at 7 o'clock will be the ascertainment hearing. Right?
It's a hearing
It's
on
not
the
an
Form
as-
394. The ascertainment hearing is in September.
September,
18th.
So it's just a hearing on the Form 394
On the
as to
Form
whether or not
394.
we're going to accept this other place being a mid-company.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, a holding company, so to say, okay. All right, so we are set, we don't need to vote that in,
That was just really an
To-
update for the board.
okay, but we don't need to vote in the change of the time for the meeting, okay. Because we're all in agreement with that. Well, I tell you, I think this is one of the shortest meetings that we've ever had.
But I do have a question.
You do have a
For the
question.
board, yes.
Sure.
Just for some guidance. Now, I'm going to come up with 10 questions for Thursday night for the
Yes.
accounting candidates. Just for so I can plan going
Sure.
forward. On September 2nd, are we going to have the whole steering committee interviewing the final 2 candidates, or just the 3 of us?
I would think at that point, it's usually just the 3 of us.
Okay, and so.
But I'm just,
Okay.
what do you think?
Well, I don't know, because I think appropriations may want to
Let's say.
say in it. Yeah, thank you. It's stuck there for a minute, too
Well,
early in the morning. Just say it.
My understanding with appropriations is that they understand that the final decision is ours,
Okay,
but they wanted to have input on, to voice to us how they were feeling about a specific candidate and be able to ask questions as well.
okay. And then
And I
also.
might ask that, if you want to check with Russ and see if he has some input too
I
on
will.
those questions.
And also, when we do the final, if it ends up, I don't need to know this now, but just
Yeah.
for thinking purposes, if it ends up just being the 3 of us or whoever that last day, are we asking 2 questions again each, or, how are we
I
going to do
would
that? So,
think we should do two questions, because at that point, and they may not be the same questions.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
I
is
don't think
I
they
don't
should
want
be,
to,
they,
if I come up with 10 questions for
Sure.
Thursday night, I don't want to repeat those questions on the second. I want to come
Right.
up with.
Yeah,
which
fresh
might- Which
ones.
might be a little more
And
difficult.
they should be a
but-
little more
You think just
pointed.
two questions, Paul, is enough?
Well, we're gonna get it
for
down
an
to,
accountant shop?
yeah, we're gonna get it down to two people with the preliminary one, so, yeah, maybe, we'll give it some thought, because we have,
I mean, because for the police thing, we give them what? We had what, 3 apiece?
yeah, basically, I think it worked out like
4
13
apiece.
questions, so, and there were 4 of us, so, yeah, it's about 3 each, I think. So, yeah, it's true. All right. You're putting the pressure on me to come up with all these questions.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it. We call you Nike.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
I just want to bring up one thing about the pay for the accountant. Do we bring that up here, or?
No,
No?
I don't think that's something that we bring, we'll interview the candidates and,
Right.
you know, it's in a range, and then, you know, whichever one we decide to go with, then we'll start discussing and negotiating a salary.
All right.
Okay? Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Anything else, Paul?
Nope.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
And is there any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.